is up, everyone? What's up, Theo? What's up, Kite? How you doing? What's up, Random? What's up, Goodo? What's up, everyone? Thanks for the sub, by the way, Theo. I do appreciate that a lot. What's up, Ikana? How you doing? Saw that you signed up for a session yourself. Looking forward to it. Big day for Younglink Veins. Hey, man. I still don't know how you hit Younglink. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. What's up, Aeon? Younglinks rise up. I played Toast in my kitchen the other day. Oh, I didn't know you managed to play him at Monocon. That sounds like a like a rough matchup. Bowser Younglink. I think I saw Semi against Leon, and it actually looked pretty rough for Leon too. I did sign up for one. Looking forward to it. How was your time in France? It was good. It was very, very exhausting. But like that exhaustion only really hits you when you get back. So like I got home last week Monday, and I think I just slept for like 4 days. And I mean like 13, 14 hours a day, just sleep. Of course I did my coaching and like yada yada yada, but I was tired as hell, and it has kind of fucked up my schedule. Not like my sleeping schedule, but more like my daily schedule. So I'm getting back into the swing of doing things, of being a productive member of our society. I wish I could sleep that. No, you do not. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. I need a lot of sleep. Like 8 hours. Like my minimum sleep is like 7 hours. I can do 8. 8 is fine, but I'll be tired at 8. But 9 or 10 is kind of like my sweet spot. So like I sleep half my life away. So don't be jealous. I hope you enjoyed your time in France as well, Godo. Hope you managed to play a lot of people. Sorry we only got to play like 2 sets. I was like dead tired when we were playing. I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, hitting Younglink is impossible. See, we can agree. We can agree, kinda. Younglink Bowser's weird. I think you actually take him to Triples, though. I don't think Semi did. I think Semi took him to Yoshi's? I remember they played at Yoshi's. But, yeah. It's losing but not the worst. Took a game. Yeah, it's probably not the worst. It's just, I'm not saying it's, like, horrible. I'm saying it sounds like it's not fun. Which is different, right? Like, something can be, like, a good matchup, but still not fun, right? What's up, man? I think like Shulk Pikachu is like fine, but I'm not really having fun as he like I basically just platform camp Pikachu all game. It's not fun. Yo, Kite with the 2 years. That's insane. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. 2 years, dude. I don't even feel like I've been doing this for 2 years. It's crazy. Time really flies. I'm getting obsessed with Shulk. Well, he's the gateway drug. Welcome. That is fair, Pen. That is fair. 2 whole years of knowledge. 2 whole years, and I think we've done like 1 coaching session. Yeah, Godo, I think the Colossal venue was definitely subpar, unfortunately. But, I mean, it worked, right? It worked. Yeah, Godo, I think you did fine in terms of knowledge. You also got to keep in mind, like, I played a lot of Falcons by now. So yeah. Yo, what's up, Gavin King? Yes, I will be hanging out with Toast. Should be fun. What's up, Semi? Could I technically order the message reading reward before the lesson starts? I still have that reward? Do I still have that? Make me read your text. Oh my god. I should not have that reward still available. Yes, I'll let you do the message reading reward, given that it's not something stupid. What's up, Dolphin? How you doing? 2 whole years and you took a game off of Leo? Dude, you think all those clips I got on kiting were because kiting isn't good? No, it's because, like if you have a Joker brain, I know how it works. I know how your Joker brain works. That's how I got the game off of Leo. He has a Joker brain. There's no chance. What do you think of Shulk Pika Komain? Like, on paper it's broken, but practically you probably don't have enough hours in a day to play both of those characters at the same time. Yeah. Keep working on it, Goto. I think, you know, like right now, having that executional barrier, it fucking sucks because execution is not fun to grind. But it is an unfortunate consequence of playing this game. I think Shulk and Pika both lose like almost no matchups. What's up, Siphon? What's up, Smashlib? So you might as well pick an easier secondary. You know, like if Pikachu loses like, let's say like 10 matchups, you'll find a character that can go even or beat all 10 of those characters. And the same goes for Shulk. So Shulk Pika, that sounds like you have to do like full-time job type hours to play that combination. But I mean, if you can make it work, it's probably broken. It probably is. How you guys doing? Friendly fire? Dude, no, Kite, I just want to remind everyone how I always used to clip you. I should have pinned them to the Discord channel, but it is what it is. Cloud is a go-to secondary for Pika. I think Pika loses more than just what Esam says, though. Like, I think I've done this before. But Pika... Let's see. Pika loses, right? Like, Mario is pretty obvious. I think Lucas probably wins. Ness probably wins. Snake probably wins. Samus wins. Where's Samus? I don't know. There she is. Steve probably wins. Wario probably wins. Olimar might win. Pac-Man probably wins. Game Watch wins. I can see Brawler winning as well. Dude, Pika's good, don't get me wrong, but like I can see all these losing. Game Watch, yeah, of course, Game Watch. I forgot Game Watch. Spachel, you are okay. Sometimes I think about using my influence to give people fake Shulk counterplay, so I can farm the Netherlands even more. Also, Greninja is honestly kind of mid, not gonna lie. There you go. You can clip that, pull it out of context, and post it everywhere that you want. Esam will love hearing me say that. Esam will love hearing me say that Greninja's kind of mid. Pika loses to what? Pac, Samus, Ness, Game Watch, Mario, Lucas, Snake. I think Cloud only Snake is fine. I think Cloud is fine against Snake too. Yes, last year I played Robbie with the anti-Shulk guide and took a game while being Mega Mesher, so low key. Dude, my anti-Shulk guide is OD. I'm just saying. But like, you can find a character that does well against all of these that is not like Shulk levels of hard. Now, here's the thing, Min. If you want to just play Shulk, then you don't even need a secondary. You just have no losing matchups. It's easy. Ice Climbers beat Pikachu too. I can see that. Honestly, I can see that. Though Thunder Jolt sounds a little bit rough to deal with because parrying in this game. Oh, Rosa might win as well. Rosa might win as well. Snake? No, Snake doesn't beat Shulk. What about Inkling? No, Inkling struggles with Pikachu, I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately so. Mega Man might do well too. Don't Shulk lose to Snake, Palu, and Rob? I don't think so. I don't think he loses to any of those characters. I think Palu is even though. You haven't told the fine print of playing Shulk, which is that he's very hard. He is the hardest character in the game, that's true. He is the hardest character in the game. But hey, like, at least you're struggling for a reason. If you go out to play like fucking Pikachu, it's a struggle as well because Pikachu is also hard. And then you fight a Mario and he just mashes on you and you still feel helpless. So like in that sense, Shulk is a way better struggle to engage in than Pikachu. I'm just saying. All right. Jokes aside, word on the street, Byleth beats Min. Definitely not. Definitely not. Friendly fire, hell yeah. Should be a tier list with 2 axes, tier versus how easy they are. Yeah, I think Rob would be the best character in a list like that, or Lucas. Lucas is also hard. That's true. But I think Lucas, you like, if you play him at like that top level, like Nighthawks, and you have like more experience than he does, I think he might be a top tier. I'm not sure. Like that's an opinion like might is like bolded and underlined. But Lucas has like the character has no weaknesses, bro. Yo, Spachtel, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. All right, let's get to coaching. I'm gonna call Toast, and we're gonna get to it. Hello, hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
All right, cool. Hey, congrats on your run the other day. It was super hype. It was cool seeing it.
Hell yeah.
How are you feeling about your play at the tournament?
I think I played very well, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it? You know, I feel like the people I lost to just, I think they just played better, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So, what do you want to focus on today?
Well, obviously, I have the 2 sets I lost. They're the Sonics and Riddles. And, see, the one with Sonics, it was much closer, even though it was 3-0. Like, 2 of the games were really close. I was actually winning before I lost them.
That's fair, yeah.
But the set with Riddles, I got kind of washed, so...
Yeah, I actually did a bit of review of your set versus Riddles to prepare for today. So...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's definitely some things that we can discuss going into it. I wrote a few things down to kind of start off with. But I think it would be a good place to start. And we can always look at the Sonic set. Yeah. The thing is, like, Sonic is such a, like, unique character that I feel like... Of course, we can find things that you can do better, but it's going to be more specific. Whereas I feel like versus Riddles, the issues were a bit more fundamental, perhaps. So that's, I think, a good place to start. The place I'd like to start before that, though, is do like a quick review regarding our last session, right? So last time we talked a lot about like kind of moving to make your playstyle a little bit less perfectionistic, right? Like you don't need to punish them for everything. You can focus on like letting them make mistakes, occupying good positions, strategical punishes, right? So instead of hitting them, put yourself in a good position. How's that been working out for you?
It's definitely shown a lot in my play. I feel like I've been able to like just readjust in most situations and like just adapt better by not playing, like you said, perfect all the time and just kind of taking things as they come.
Cool. And mindset wise, I know you said a lot. We talked a bit about like negative thought spirals in tournaments when things going wrong. Is it easier to get out of that with like a more simple playstyle too?
Yeah, and like I think most of it, like the things you told me, like you said to me, mentally helped a lot. That I was thinking about, like it even showed in like even sets or tournaments that I like lost, like in between that, it like showed where like I would be down or something, and I'd be like instead of being like, man, I'm gonna lose, I'd be like, what's the best? I look at my position, I'm just like, what's the best way that I can like turn this around? Like, what's my win condition here?
Cool.
Thinking about bad stuff.
Awesome. All right. Positive. Okay. So no need to go deeper into that if it's all been working out. Let's just move right along. I was gonna say send me the VOD, but the VODs.
I have it here.
I got you. It's literally the top result.
Yeah.
The CEO set. Yeah. Okay. Of course. Panda VODs has ads turned on. Anything that you feel like we should focus on going into the set review?
So I've noticed like even though like my set count against like I guess like local fighting game character players is like fine. Like when I fight like really really good ones, like I lost a classic, I think it's Glitch, and Riddles washed me here. Like I feel like I'm not like too good against their playstyle, honestly. Even though I know what to do, I feel.
Okay, tell me what you think you should be doing.
I mean, I think one thing I noticed when I was fighting, like after I lost class, I played him in friendlies for like an hour, and one thing I noticed is like good fighting game character players will just like they'll walk you down. Like they'll do like less jump ins and stuff, and obviously like Terry has a really good burst off. Like they'll be patient. They'll like shield and like walk you down, and like I realize like when I fight them, I should be kind of doing the same thing with them.
Yeah.
Not walking them down, but like shoot an arrow, kind of sit there and look at what they're doing, and just like staying at a position where I won't get hit with a burst option like easily. Like at a distance I should react to.
So you want to play, basically you want to play at a slower pace. Which I think is fair, because like the thing about characters like Shotos, and this is something that I think also went wrong at times versus Tweak, is that like, because Sephiroth is kind of the same, because Sephiroth is like, if he's in mid range, he will destroy you, but at the close range or long range, he cannot do much, right? And the Shotos have like a similar dynamic where like in the close range they will destroy you, but at the mid and long range they cannot do much. So what you notice from like top level players from like that play characters that have these dynamics where they're like really strong in single range, what they will do is when they're not in that range, they will play entirely around you. And in that sense, like for Young Link, the issue is that like if you get too projectile heavy, you're giving them things to react to that like will not hit them, because realistically a fire arrow hits because they press a button at that range, right? And a good fighting game player or fighting game character player, like you said, they won't do anything at those ranges. So what I think is like, in terms of nuance, what I think is important is that instead of like saying like, oh, I should play at a slower pace, which is true, I think the nuance should be if your opponent is weaker and they accept that they are weaker, you need to convert that into pressure. Now the thing is, if you start converting those situations into pressure, like the opponent will adapt to that and swing more, right? So let's say Terry, no, like mid-range Terry, like he has crack shoot, but it's not like super amazing. Or like, you know, Ken and Ryu are better examples. You can set up your pressure to mid-range, but if they realize that you're taking time to set up your pressure, they're going to use that to get in on you, which then becomes like the bait, right? And what you see in Riddles a lot, and I'm actually not sure if it happens a lot in this set, but I'll point it out if it does. But Riddles catches on to habits like that a lot, and he's very happy to swing on that. But at the same time, because he's so eager to do that, that's something that you can use to basically bait him in. Before we get into that type of analysis, let's actually watch some gameplay though. Let's take a look. Okay.
You know what's been interesting too is that, you know, I have a Kazuya Mishima enthusiast. I've not really seen a lot of it this tournament. Jackie, what are the playtime on this Kazuya Mishima in this tournament specifically?
I remember this. You're kind of destroying him at the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah, all that. Jeez.
Yeah. Dude, his Terry is optimal as fuck. Like, honestly, yeah. I think you're dead.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I saw him do that earlier, and I was like, oh, I can't let myself get hit by that. But I was not ready.
But the offstage boomerang, this is a Young Link classic. I mean...
yeah, it beats it out.
Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. I think game one in that sense it's fine to like use it to gather information, and even if you have like the knowledge beforehand, getting used to your opponent actually doing it is also like, you know, a whole different beast.
I shouldn't have swung there.
That's fine. Yep.
I think I like. Yeah.
His cornering is really good though. This is nice. I like the cross up on the forward there. Oh yeah, he didn't confirm it.
Yeah, I didn't react to it. It's kind of hard.
It is really hard. It is.
Yeah, I thought he would fall out.
Okay, so what I think the deal is with Riddles is that he execution and knowledge checks you constantly. And what I mean by that is that like even in bad situations, he will swing at you to see if you recognize how to play a good situation, right? So we go back to the idea of like, you know, they're weaker, but they might still like use room to swing at you. So if you go back to the beginning of this game, this is actually like very telling. So look at Riddles here. So of course he slowly takes stage, realizes you're playing a little bit more passively, takes a lot of it, and even in this situation especially, right, you jab him out, and look at how he approaches back to you. He jumps in, nairs, jump in, fairs, right? So in this situation, if you look at this, like, as a bit of a snapshot. This is like basically pure mid range. Terry is not strong here outside of crack shoot. But he's still willing to like swing in with a jump in nair because he knows like I am weaker, Toast is stronger, so Toast is gonna try to show his strength by mixing me up, which he can try to interrupt, and if it works, he gets huge reward because he's a fighting game player, right? So what is very important against characters that have like very binary situations, where in some situations they're extremely strong and some situations they're extremely weak, is you want to look at how they play the situations in which they're weak. Because generally, like, if they're stronger, you're usually okay with disengaging, right? Like, let's say Sephiroth got you in mid-range, you roll away or you roll in, it's Gucci, you jump away. Sometimes he's going to punish you, but generally, like, it's pretty simple for you. They're a lot stronger than you, so you dip, right? The focus should instead be on when they're weak. And what you see with Riddles is, like, even when he's weak, he's willing to throw stuff out to basically check and see, like, do you respectfully take or do you respectively set up pressure in the situation? And here you actually did the right thing, and you're like, okay, even though I'm stronger, I'm just gonna wait for him to commit, and then you punish the commitment. I like that a lot. But then when you look at the corner pressure that he sets up in the later half of the stock, so he gets the combo here, and then he pushes you into the corner, which, I mean, fair enough, it's kind of Terry's win condition, right? But look at how I think it's the second stock where he starts corner pressuring you. Yeah. So look at how he plays the corner pressure here, right? So he waits for a reversal, you roll in, right? So again, he's strong, you try to reversal out of his situation, he's ready for that, right? Okay, so you try to jump over, he waits for you, and then he tries to get center back, right? So his goal here, if you look at this, his goal is to get back to center, right? So he jumps over you, goes to center. For you, and this looks like a little bit of specific advice, but we'll talk a little bit more about this. In this situation, if you land behind him, I would be like, you just dash away or roll to center.
Dash away, yeah. I was about to say, yeah. I was about to say, I should have just.
You already win. You already win. You don't need to fight him in close quarters.
Because I'm still. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm still in a situation where he's stronger.
Right.
Even though I'm behind him. I mean, they have auto turnaround.
Right. And this is a good way. But then again, right? Like, look at this. You are stronger than he is because he just missed a crack shoot. So what you do is, I'm stronger, let me mix you up. And then he's like, no, I can actually beat you for trying to mix me up, right? So what we're seeing in these interactions is that, like, he will fight you even when he's weaker, which basically says, like, this situation, normally if he plays it defensively, for him it's like, like pretty low risk, pretty low reward. But if he tries to fight back, it's kind of like high risk, medium reward. Because if you wait out like a spot dodge attack like this, if you outspace it, then you get like a super hard punish, right? Like you get to forward smash him or basically whatever combo starter you want. So in that sense, like to get out of a bad situation with a reversal is a hard commitment. And what he's showing to you a lot in these first two stocks is that he's willing to commit hard. The thing about Riddles that makes it work is that when he has an advantage, like his advantage state is insane. Like you saw it in how he cornered. He was very clear about his objective, and he very consistently tried to achieve his objective. And the thing is, like, you're like, oh, I finally got out of the corner. I'm in center. He missed. Finally, my time to shine. And then he reverses you anyway, right? So in that sense, it's like, again, it's very important to focus on these situations in which you're stronger and to understand, like, okay, they're hard committing to get out of the situation. And what I want to impart to you in terms of knowledge is basically a style of reading that I think is very effective for specifically getting better at this. So before I do that, though, tell me a bit, like, how do you go about getting your reads? Or is there like a strategy to it, or do you just let your intuition do the work? Do you have like a specific approach?
It's kind of a little bit. It's kind of like all of that. Like it's like partly by positioning, partly by feel, partly by like if I've like recycled options and they've reacted to things a certain way. Yeah. Pretty much all three.
So what I think is very important for getting reads on players like Riddles, and what I mean by player like Riddles is basically players that are very fast paced, because he plays the game at a very fast pace. But there are other players like that, like for example, like Leo. Leo is very fast paced as well, etc. So You want to try to understand intention instead of actions. And what I mean by that is that, for example, like if he whiffs a crack shoot and follows it up with a spot dodge attack, what that shows is that if he's in a bad situation, he's willing to fight. So instead of saying after a whiff he reversals, you can say in bad situations he fights. And after a whiff he reversals is applicable to like that situation only. Whereas in bad situations he fights, you can apply that to a lot of situations. And we'll notice later on in the games, but when Riddles is in a bad spot, like again, he just knowledge and execution checks you. He's just like, I'm gonna fight out of this situation, and you better be ready to like beat me fighting out of it. But at the same time, if you are ready to beat him fighting out of it, you get like huge reward, right? So that's kind of like the dynamic that he's setting up, is that like it's up to you to be right on the execution, but if you are, you get a lot of reward out of it. So this style of like understanding not just the move but more the intention, the issue with it is it's very draining to do this for a long time. So a way to make this easier is to categorize by 3 situations, right? So we have good situations, bad situations, and unclear situations. And basically you want to see, like, do they respect or do they disrespect? And the same goes for bad situations, of course, and unclear situations. This is a little bit more, you know, gray area. But like, let's say he got you cornered. Is he going to respect your aggression, or is he going to try to just like disrespect you and throw out hitboxes? And what you see from Riddles is that when he is stronger than you, when he has that advantage, he actually respects your options a lot. In fact, he's playing around you almost entirely, right? If you go back to like the corner situation, you can see that like right here, he positions to beat a reversal. So he's playing around you. He's not going for his own mix-ups. He's playing around your reversals. Beats you. Covers you, right? And tries to focus on just like getting to center again. Focusing on covering your options, beating your reversals. And even here, right, when he goes for a direct mix-up, he knows like, oh, I just went for a mix-up that didn't work out, this down air, I'm going to shield. So very respectful, right? Very much like understanding what you can do. And instead of going for what he wants, he of course, he mixes in his own reads, but he generally is always playing around you, which gives you a lot of control over the situation, of course. But your control is limited because he's stronger. But the other way is true in bad situations, where he is more likely to not respect you when he's in a bad situation. So this is the way that I generally recommend people to like get better at adaptation, is to just like understand, okay, if they're in a good situation, how do they manage it? And if they're in a bad situation, how do they manage it? And what you'll find is that most people stick to like one pattern. Like, for example, Tweak in bad situations, like 99% of the time, he will respect you. He's like, I'm weaker, I won't even play this. And Tweak in a good situation, 99% of the time, he will also respect you. He'll be like, okay, I'll just play around your options. But if you look at a player like, for example, Chag is more likely to not respect you when he's strong. He's just like, I'm going to throw out these hitboxes and you better deal with it, right? So this is just a good system to get an idea of not what they want to do, but why they're doing it. And you can then apply it to like other situations. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So let's continue watching. Yeah, so we get this whiff again. Look at how calm he is at holding on to stage control. And this is actually really good by you, because you realize that he's very respectful of your options, and you use that room to set up your own mix-up. So you're in a bad spot, but you're still mixing him up, which I think like this is a really good adaptation to the style in which he corners you. I like this a lot. He's giving you room. You use that room to set up your mix-up. It's scary, but it works. Okay, yep, got the arrow up air, Tana City.
Yeah, I didn't swing there either. I didn't.
Yeah, you just like, just let it be.
It's out there. I think I just wanted to just see what he was gonna do, because I know power dunk like literally auto cancel, so I was like,
Yeah, no, that's good. I think one thing that I like about the way you're playing this match in general, and we talked about it last time as well, is that like when you're unsure, just let it go, you know? This forward air, if we just like zoom in again, we just look at individual interactions. This forward air, like against a player like Riddles, who is willing to commit in bad situations, you don't need to cover like this, because you can just wait for him to swing. So your mistake there wasn't even like covering because the coverage was good. The mistake was that you hadn't adapted to the fact that he is the type of player to commit in bad situations and just like force you to play some sort of mix-up. But if you know he's going to commit, then you can play a more patient reactionary game. But it was good that you realized that you were too late and just didn't do anything. And again, this is good because again, look at what he's doing. He's very slowly mixing you up, staying very respectful of your reversals, and you're using the time to set up an anti-land Rising Becker. Again, setting up your mix-ups when he is being more passive. That's really good. Oh, all right. Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, I miss it. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. It's good that you have the confidence to go for it. I think that's the biggest thing here. Oh, and look at Riddles just down air out of it, dash grab out of it, crack shoot out of it. Yeah. Right. So again, this boomerang, strong coverage, but against a player like Riddles,
kind of forward, but I think he still would have hopped over it.
Yeah, but yeah, even then, like, you know he's gonna commit, bro. Like, just wait.
Yeah.
You don't need to do anything, right? This kind of comes back to the idea of not playing perfect in the sense that, like, this is the way I look at it, right? When we start to categorize actions in terms of intentions in the system that we talked about before, about like good and bad situations, what you'll find is very close to like raw RPS in the sense that if Riddles is constantly picking rock in a bad situation, then just start picking paper. But you know that like the way you can play it is a little bit more nuanced. But when they are showing you that level of simplicity, then you can answer with your own simplicity, right? Like you only need to make it complex if your opponent makes it complex in that sense. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Just get back to center. Again, you know, he just throws things out. Yeah, waiting. Yeah. Okay, I got the auto count.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I wasn't ready for that.
The neutral B.
I love this.
And I need dash attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just a good dash attack.
So I think the biggest story of this set, so for one, the adaptation to getting out of the corner, I think was really good on your end. I think one thing that we should talk about is stage control as a resource. Because when you think about fighting game characters' weaknesses, the biggest thing that I think comes to mind is that they struggle to control space. Right, they struggle. They control the space around them perfectly, but their reach outside of that is limited. So in other words, if they cannot control the space that they enter, you can control it, but you need to decide to control it. And when you look at like just like a very generic glance at like the stage control dynamics in this game one, what you see is that like he has a lot of room to claim stage, right? Because Terry like essentially starts right here and he's all the way here without like much contesting. There was a bomb throw, but the point is you want to make him fight more for the stage that he is claiming. And you can see it here at the beginning, and I mean you do fine, right, in the sense that you know like you know what his burst range is, which in this case is literally like right until here, and then he goes for a run of fair and he nair and he misses and you whiff him because or you whiff punish him because you know, burst range. But I think the overall idea is that like making him fight for that space is just a better option than setting up a strong situation while being stationary, if that makes sense. So
I got you.
In that sense, what I think the biggest decision here is related to bombs, right? Because bombs sacrifice stage for better interactions. So it's like you get better interactions, but you also get more risk because you're cornered way more than you were before. And I think versus FGC characters, it's best to only use bombs to counter, well, I don't want to say total, but I want to say extreme passiveness. Because basically, instead of looking at like the risk reward of bomb, I want to think about bomb in terms of opportunity cost, right? And this can be bomb, but also boomerang or fire arrow. And while these tools in and of themselves have good risk reward, the issue is that because you're doing it, you cannot contest space while using projectiles, right? Because I mean, of course, boomerang and fire arrow, they occupy some sort of space, but it's not a mix-up. It's reactable at a lot of ranges, blah, blah, blah. So the issue with bomb is not that bomb is like unsafe or that it's like a bad situation afterwards, is that like instead of bomb, you could have been doing something better, which is like exerting more control over the stage, or at least making him fight or guess to take more room. And as you continue through the game, you can see that for Riddles,
I died for that.
Yeah, of course, but for Riddles, the positioning here is very important. So if you look at what he does, is he has center here, and he tries to control the center with his movement. And you also, of course, you also go towards center because it's the highest reward, but that is exactly what he's covering. Again, when he has a strong situation, he's extremely respectful of your options. And in other words, your best option here is to get to center, which is exactly what he's going to try to cover. And that's something that you notice in a lot of like Riddle's gameplay against Young Link especially, because it's super important against Young Link. But at the same time, that's also something that he cannot do in neutral, right? So if you look at this as well, look at his movement, right? He feigns moving to the corner, jumps back to center, feigns going to the corner, jump back to center. So in that sense, Riddles is very transparent in his decisions, in the sense that he wants to get center stage control. So for you, the most important thing then is to use the fact that he always wants to go to center as a detriment, right? So right here, when he's covering the center of the stage, right, he's covering a cross-up so that you cannot get to the center. That means that this area is uncontested because he's trying to prevent you from getting to the center, right? So you get this room for free, which is something that, you know, like you're still getting corner pressured, of course, but it's something you should take. But instead, we see you trying to return to center, you trying to return to center, and he's like, okay, well, I'm stronger here, though. So when you try to return to center, I'm there to cover it. And that is like the biggest set of interactions that I feel is at play in this first game in terms of where he's beating you. It's the stage control. And even here, right, you can look at this, you know, this power dunk. He's falling down, power dunks to center, because he's just like, well, if I get to center, the risk reward is a lot better by definition, which it is because it's harder to put him off stage, etc. Power dunks to center, rolls to center, and now he has center stage control. And you know, you do tag him, but you can kind of see how he's very consistent in that he gets control of the stage first, and then he tries to fight you. And that is something that you can be more consistent at punishing that tendency. Right, even here, right, returns to center, you punish it very well. Right, he contests center immediately. So in that sense, like, let's say you put him in this position where you hit him with the back air. Your goal is to basically be a wall and say, like, you cannot get past me. And yeah, and if you play it a little bit slower, you are way more of a wall. That is basically the way you should look at it. So in advantage, try to be a wall, right? So focus on holding on to stage control and pressuring from that position of stage control. So that also means like a run-up jab could be like super safe, or run-up down tilt even. It's safe pressure, and like you're probably not going to get punished. But if they roll in, they now got center stage control, which is a hard punish. So what you'd rather do in those situations, if you want to hold on to your stage control, is you want to implement feints for pressure. So instead of run-up down tilt, think about like dash in, dash out, and see see what they do. Or what Semi does is like dash up and then like jump back, and then if they roll in, of course you get like a landing aerial, and if they stay at a longer distance, you can throw out like a Zair to harass, or like a fire arrow, or a boomerang, whatever you want to do. But what I see in your commitment that I think is partially your strength, but also in the case of like, you know, the way Riddles plays this matchup, can be a bit of a weakness. Your mix-ups are fucking insane. Like in terms of mixing your opponent up, you're very good at being a step ahead and knowing your options and managing your risk reward. The thing is, if Riddles knows you're going to mix up, then your mix up is going to be a lot less effective. So what you need to do then is you need to add a layer, which is the feints, to whether you're going to mix up at all. Because at the end of the day, right, at top level, a good situation doesn't matter, in the sense that it's a good RPS. Like the result is gonna go the way of the advantageous player. most of the time, right? Like at that level, you cannot outplay a good situation as often as you would like. So at the point where you cannot outplay a good situation, the goal shifts from playing the interactions to managing the situation. So your goal then is to avoid the good situation in its entirety. And this, again, this is very apparent against Shotos because like their good situation is right next to you. So your goal in neutral is to prevent them from getting right next to you. But this extends to a lot of things, right? So if you think about a more well-rounded character like Young Link, when you're playing Young Link, your goal is to not be in the corner because that is like your worst situation. So in other words, rather than trying to play the corner situation better, your goal should be to avoid getting put in that situation in the first place. And that extends to how you treat your opponents. Of course, your decision making changes a lot to focus on preventing those situations as well. But in terms of your aggression, right? So like, let's say you're really good at mixing someone up. So when you're in the corner, you go for like your run up down tilt. Sometimes you do like fair, nair, empty lands, back air one, fair one, whatever, right? Your opponent knows you want to commit and mix up in that situation. So your opponent's goal is to avoid that situation in its entirety. So what they're going to do is they're going to normal get up, roll in. Because when they roll in, they get out of that situation. So for you to beat that type of behavior, you got to make it a mix-up whether you're going to mix up in the first place, right? And that's where your feints come in. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that, again, Riddles does really well. He knows, like, okay, my opponent wants to mix me up here. I'm just going to, like, spot dodge attack or throw out, like, an interruption, stuff like that. So turning that into more of a bait is very, very important. Right? Again, you put yourself in the corner. It's fine. You fight out of the corner very well, though. Like, it's impressive how well you've adapted to his corner pressure. Yep, he gets the coverage. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, trying to use the bomb explosion. That's a shame. The boomerang usually covers it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
He just got up quick enough.
Yeah.
That boomerang.
Oh, shit. We got interrupted by that.
The ad.
Yeah, so what I wanted to point out there, I think is interesting. Look at the stage positioning here, right? Again, you gravitate towards center, and he's fighting you from center, which is why he gets to pressure you like this. So again, your goal in these situations, like let's say like hypothetical situation, you get hit here. I think the best decision here would be to say, I don't want to get into center because he's sharking for center. I should instead go to like the platform
go to the left,
or the corner. Exactly, and just accept that like he is giving you that space. He's playing lower risk, lower reward. It's totally fine. But getting to the center then puts you in this awkward position where he gets a hard punish. Okay. Yeah, that sucks. That is like 0 on parry, I think.
Yeah, 0. Yeah, I learned that after the fact.
Yeah,
I knew it was like unpunishable, but I didn't know it was 0.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Terry power dunk, dude.
Just catching on my landing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he fouled my move.
Yeah, dude, falling out of back air. That's the Young Link classic.
Dude, the way he fell out is like super rare too. So.
Is it? Hang on. I want to see. Yeah, usually.
It would hit right there, but I don't know. I think he was too.
No, you actually
too high or too low.
You phantom hit here too. This is a phantom hit right here.
Really?
Yeah. he got a single bit of SDI. That's the white line here, and that single bit of SDI got led into this phantom hit. So yeah,
that's just good on his part.
I mean, he probably didn't react to the Becker, but maybe he did actually. Maybe he did. I know Riddle's SDIs a lot, so who knows? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. The meaty power dive.
Yeah. That situation is so bad.
Yeah, that situation is bad. I think something like in terms of like more concrete feedback, I think going into matchups, you need a defensive plan. And what I mean by that is like you gotta analyze where the opponent's aggressive faults lie and abuse them as hard as you can. So for example, versus slower characters, you'll focus more on retreats, right? So you'll do like a dash back boomerang, stuff like that to like whiff out or whiff punish when they miss because they're slower. But versus something like Terry, right? Like his grab is lackluster, so you want to focus more on shielding. And of course, like he can down shield your shield, he can jab your shield, but like if you hold shield, it's not like he has like a Ryu or Ken shield break, right?
Shield break. Yeah, you're right.
So in that sense, like again, the shield pressure is good, and like it was well found by Riddles going over using the time that you reversal, because this is a nair reversal. He's basically setting up his own pressure on a read that you will reversal, and then the issue that you have here is not that you did the wrong thing, is that you try to act out of this situation. You can just hold shield, just let him grab you. Like what's the big deal? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the more you focus on this, the better. So like versus Shotos, it's a little bit different, but versus like a lot of close quarter characters are weak to roll in, right? So if you think about like Sheik, she will do like a run up forward tilt. If you like roll in and she goes for like continued pressure, usually you're out of the situation. So against Sheik, you want to focus a little bit more on rolling, and then when she starts to wait out your rolls, that's where you can reverse out of a situation. The same goes for Terry, right? As soon as he starts going for grabs, that's where you can get out of the situation. So having a defensive strategy in terms of just like what are like your crutches, what are your go-tos, that's just very important. Another like something that you would recognize is like Young Link. He's pretty bad at like covering like this area of the screen, right? He can cover above him well, he can cover in front of him, but if someone like full hops, he has to commit pretty hard to cover that. So against Young Link, a lot of characters will use like their full hops as their like defensive strategy. So that's something like clear example that you know from your own character. Okay, you missed the whiff punish, of course.
I should have dashed away. Oh, I did try
there. You did dash
away,
yeah. This is the thing about Riddles is like, in these neutral situations when he's in mid range, he's very very eager to just press a button. So even though he's like that's also a bit of like the whiplash where like Tweak is always respectful, Riddles very much changes how respectful he is based on the situation, which makes it a bit of whiplash because if you look at his neutral and disadvantage, you'd be like, okay, he just mashes, but then he puts you in the corner and he's like respectful as hell, right? Like he brings your daughter home at like 9 p.m.
Because he just wants to react to all your reversal options.
Exactly, but if you look at like, right, this is the corner pressure.
That was a good parry.
Yeah,
oh my god. I died.
No, you lived this one, right? You died. It is Tana City. So,
yep.
What you can also see, like again, if you look at the stage positioning, right? Here he has to claim space, so he's gonna be more aggressive, and you can see it, right? Like dash up, rising fair, dash up, down tilt. Now he got corner pressure. Now we go back to respectful Riddles, safe pokes, parries, reaction. So what you need to do is you need to categorize his tendencies, not based on just like him as a player, but also in the context of the situation. Okay, let's take a look. Game 3. Okay, very slow paced Riddles, but he starts committing. Yep, he's committing. He's committing.
Yeah, I think I try to play from the corner like a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the bomb toss down. That was dope. That was dope. I like that. Okay, what's he gonna do? Play slow. Hard commitment coming.
See, everything you said I should do is like working.
Yeah, in this situation, it definitely is. Ooh, that was
where it goes wrong.
It's when you jump to center. Hey.
Yeah. Well,
it's all right. I mean, you gotta get to center. Good as the eye, by the way.
I almost got it. Yeah. I was playing with a Terry called Crash, like a Midwest Terry. He was telling me how to DI it, and like I only got it. I only started to get it like here.
Yeah, this
like
is
down and in.
Yeah, this is good. I think this is
And it's still
like
hit.
how like this is DLC, baby. Dude, fucking Virgin Young Link, one SDI inputs makes Becker not work. Chad Terry, you SDI 5 times, it still hits. That's so sad. Okay.
Yo, I tried to. Oh, I could. Oh.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, what do I do here?
Okay, we jump to center. We jump to center again.
Center.
Yeah.
Yep, do it again. Yep.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh.
Dude, I don't know why crack shoot is a juggling tool. This is unethical. This is actually unethical.
It's so good. It's so good.
That move is insane. It is, by the way, I don't know, this is like a small tip versus Terry, but like this frame data here isn't actually true.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, the side B here, it says that it's like -16. No, yeah, -12. It's more like -16. Because the second hit hits like way earlier. And this is assuming it hits like on the final frame, I think even. So it's like I think you can even up smash it if you shield it. What the fuck? Did he SDI even?
Yes, sir.
No, he actually did SDI. He SDI'd in. Dude. I don't even, that doesn't even look like it was the SDI. That was just the game saying like, nah.
Nah. In the run back sets I had, everything was just going, like, people kept falling out of them.
I see.
I was like, yeah.
That's the young struggle. That is a feel bad moment.
Yeah, that was such a good reaction.
That was insane.
Because he got that.
I don't see other Terrys go for that where they just store the charge on the ledge and they just react.
Okay.
Oh, right here.
Okay, hold on to the stage positioning, right, and then so what I'd like you to do, if I, like, as this again, you know, like microcosm of a situation, in this situation, I'd like you to just, like, rely on your normals, your movement, your shield, to make it hard for him to contest this stage. Because this is basically what he wants to do. Of course, he gets a little bit of this because he parries, which is what you're supposed to do against Boomerang. But because you go for an arrow, you're basically like, in many ways, you're giving him a lot of room, right? Whereas what you want to focus on here is to just, like, you know, go for maybe like a rising fair 1-2. If he dash shields, you get a mix up on his shield. You can go for like a dash feint. You can jump back to grab a little bit of space and maybe go for like a Zair or like an empty land down tilt. There's a lot of ways you can play this. I think in this sense, again, what you want to think about is like defensive strategy, right? So in this situation where you're defending your stage control because he has a bit of an advantage after this parry, how do you defend this bit of stage? And against a character like Ken or Ryu or Kazuya even, this fire arrow makes a lot of sense. But I think Terry's just, you know, he has too much of a mid-range to be able to get away with stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's waiting for the rolls. Good chase. Yeah. This is very rare for Riddles, by the way. If you look at this, what he does, he rolls and he just dash grabs. Usually he's very patient in the corner. Oh, yep, we get the anti-lands. You should just like spam anti-land tilt against him because he keeps falling for it. Oh, he actually crouched under the bomb. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, he's in the he's plugged into the Matrix, dude. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, I'll see, right? I'm picking my battles better, at least. Right here.
Dude, in this game, in general, like, you're making it a lot more ambiguous where you're going to be moving and how you're going to be covering your own movement.
Okay. He caught me right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just...
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he even catch? I think you anti-land shielded even, right?
Yeah.
Anti-land shield, and oh, you jumped out of shield, I see.
Yeah, I tried to jump. Yeah.
So again...
I think I was going to jump and throw the bomb down and dash away from him.
Alright, go to center with the bomb. I think that's fine. So, the way I want you to start thinking about your movement, so in terms of getting back to center, slash even defending your space, right? a lot of what I'm seeing from especially your earlier games, and you adjust this in this final game, which is why I think you're doing a lot better. What I'm noticing is that you often move to enable your attacks, right? So it's like I move here because my attack makes sense in this position, and I want you to start using your attacks. To enable your movement. So in other words, if I jump here, like I want to get into this position, but I cannot just dash there because it's like, he can contest me. So what hitboxes make sense to kind of like escort me to that position? So instead of moving to attack, you attack to cover your movement. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest things, or the biggest attacks in terms of being able to do this are obviously like boomerang, fair, nair, and something like run up shield, which is not really an attack, but in a lot of ways it basically functions as one, right? It's kind of like a run up counter that's like super low commitment.
Yeah.
But you're using your shield not to defend, but to enable you to get to that position. You're using your boomerang not to harass him, but to cover yourself as you reposition. And this kind of goes back to this idea of like, instead of focusing on playing the interactions as well as you can, the mix-up is around creating the situation itself. So,
can you give me 1 second really quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Hello, chat. Just Nair? Of course, it's still Link. How do you play against a player that always disrespects you in bad and good situations? You just wait for him to overcommit, and then you punish him. If they're never respecting you in like good or bad situations, you can just like wait it out, because it's usually commitment. Not as much in like good situations, but the punishment that you get out of that is getting out of their good situation, which is a very worthwhile outcome for you. FGC characters are her buck shifting. They are. I don't know why. People say it's like the auto turnaround, but he didn't even turn around. It's crazy. Short up forward. Yeah, the short up fair is fucking insane. The stupid thing about fair is that like if they think you're gonna be thrown out of hitbox and you hit a shield with fair too, you get like a really good situation. It's kind of like a Cloud Becker on shield. You know what I mean? You're just, again, if you think about the game in terms of like creating situations, in terms of playing instead of in terms of playing RPS, like what you're looking for is
alright, I'm back.
Yo. I was just saying, like, fair in this situation is like pretty strong, because the thing about fair is that if you hit a shield, you get like a strong situation out of it, right? So all, like, again, if using these attacks to enable your movement, it helps you position yourself in ways that are stronger, and that is, at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. The thing about good situations is that there are generally like two axes that you want to think about. Of course, there's like matchup specific stuff, but two like quote unquote fundamental axes, and one is distance between you and the opponent, and two is the stage positioning. So let's say you are in, like, let's say this is a stage and you got center stage and Terry is running towards you. Like, in terms of the distance between you and Terry, your ideal solution here would be to retreat, because you create more space, which gives you more advantage. But in terms of stage positioning, that would actually be a loss. So when you focus on creating good situations, the thing you want to think about a lot is how you weigh these two up, because retreating here and staying in place to defend it, they're both good choices. They're both valid choices. They're going to be entirely dependent on what your opponent shows you, what the percentages are, the risk rewards, the matchup, etc., etc. But yeah, that's also why I cannot like give you a concrete answer in terms of like how should you value these things. But I can tell you, like, you're really good at Young Link. If you spend time playing and thinking about like these two factors when you move around, that's gonna improve how often you find yourself in a strong situation, I think, like, by tenfold. Because, like I said before, your mix-ups are insane. I think in terms of playing situations, you are, like, in terms of, like, All-America, I think you are one of the best players. You're really good at playing situations. I think if you add that layer of, like, okay, so I'm so good at my good situations that they're going to commit hard to prevent me from getting in them, which is something that I can use to get even harder punishes. If you like add that layer to your game plan, it's gonna like that's gonna be huge. And the same as like vice versa, where like instead of using your insane mix-ups to get out of bad situations, you can, you know, like mix them up before you even get put in them, which I think, again, just adds a lot of depth. And yeah, then he kills you at 69 because Terry.
Actually was really good space in there too to put a position in front of what if Toast dropped the platform in front, he was there, that's why he was able to get that down tilt. And
he just did it.
He just did it.
That is the I am 100% ahead. I might as well throw it out before I die.
Throw it out. Yeah, he just threw it out. Yeah.
But let's warp back and actually look what went wrong here. So let's look, review. We got corner pressure enabled. And now we're cornered. See, so again, like your mix-ups are solid, but you're giving him a really good position. Yeah. So again, the main flaw here is not like, of course, this mix-up, like, you know, you're gonna get hit by it sometime. That's just, you know, Terry things.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he whiffed F I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I was not good.
You were not good, but the core is the positioning here, right? So even here, right, he's cornering you. You're taking the corner. I think this jump back to the platform, I think, makes a lot of sense. I like this a lot. You're basically saying, like, okay, if you go for a mix-up here, I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be able to get around it. But what I'd like to see is a little bit more of defensive play afterwards, because he's very willing to say, like, okay, you're cornering yourself further. Let me cover your return to center. And that's kind of the name of the game, right? Like, even here, you can see it in your movement, right? Like, you try to jump over, you realize he's covering, so you drift back. You try to jump over, he's covering, so you drift back. And at a certain point, right, like, he catches you with Nair on the run-off twice. What you could be doing is you could be, like, chilling here, maybe grabbing, like, a bomb, or waiting for a crack shoot or a side B, or maybe even going, like, down here and trying from this position and maybe mixing up by going back to the platform. But the core here is, again, like, you're focusing on getting the right mix-up, but even though your mix-ups are really good, he's just covering. And coverage when he's stronger than you are, this is just not a kill, okay? Coverage when he's stronger than you are, like, he doesn't even need to read you. He's just gonna be a stronger character because you're in such a weak position.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he powers you. I think overall though, in terms of your decision making, what I like to see a lot was your adaptation in terms of understanding like how he sets the pace for the game. I think, again, like, one thing that you want to focus on outside of all the things that we talked about is just like simplifying your game, because when he's cornering you, right, he's doing it in a very simple way, and you're trying to create nuance and use that nuance to get out, and he's not playing that game. And that is like an advantage for Riddles, where, like, Riddles is the type of player to, like, grind out so hard that you cannot, like, pull him into your style of playing a situation. He's gonna call the shots when he is stronger than you are, and that's what you kind of saw in that set. But yeah, lots of things that we brought up. Anything you'd like to discuss further or have questions about?
Not really. I think with I think it's you help, like, a lot with, like, how I feel about fighting characters in general. It's something that I really need to work on.
Yeah.
Like, all this information about, like, the stage control and playing situations better I think it's definitely gonna help.
Okay. So I'll give you one final bit of advice that I think is valuable while we let these ads play out. So Young Link has a strong neutral, right?
Mm-hmm.
So strong neutral is gonna how do I say this? Basically, it's gonna get met with two responses, right? One is overcommitment to hard call you out, right? So this is like, even though I'm weaker, I'll throw out my Terry side B to counter you trying to set up your neutral, which, of course, you know, like, easy adaptation. The other one is a more passive neutral, understanding that they are weaker, this is where I think you struggle the most, because you very clearly go for mix-ups in let's say, like, advantage state. Corner pressure is also kind of like advantage state. I think you could do with recognizing disrespect more accurately and setting up your own pressure more frequently. So what I mean by that, we kind of go back to the idea of like, okay, like intentions. If they're in a bad situation, do they like respect or disrespect? So this would be like disrespecting would be like the Terry correct shoot, and respecting would be like, you know, dash shield and wait. And I think when your opponent is showing respect, you need to squish out more pressure when they are passive like this. So when we see like Riddles do a dash up shield, you need to get pressure out of that, and you need to get like some sort of like positive mix up out of it. I think too often are you happy to say like, okay, you dash up shield, I'm gonna dash back and set up my projectiles, and instead of you getting something strong out of it, you lose a little bit of stage positioning, but you're also in no risk. And I think taking those risks to set up your pressure, and from there getting like bigger reward, and in other words, kind of like baiting your opponent to start overcommitting, right? Because if you punish them for passive neutral, it's not about that situation. It's about the strategic implication that he cannot play neutral passively. And then they feel like they have to hard commit. And that's where Young Link's shield, for example, becomes really good. So some ways that you can punish passiveness, again, you can use feints like we talked about before. I think in a lot of ways, like this is where jab jab becomes a really good way, or a really good like check to say like, oh, I think they're gonna dash shield, I'm not sure, I'm gonna dash up jab, and then like, you know, if you get your jab jab, you're pretty safe. You don't get a lot of reward, right? But you do put them in like an uncomfortable spot. Things that you could do is like jab jab rising nair, or jab jab shield and like punish, like up out a shield there counter punish, or even like, you know, jab jab and then do like a multi-hit mix up. Another thing, another one that I like is landing aerials, and that can be like rising fair too, but mostly like, you know, landing nair, strong hit nair, or landing fair 1, or landing bear 1, because the thing is, again, these are basically unpunishable for most characters, and what you're doing is like, if they're playing passively, you're using that time to set up your landing aerial, and then you're basically playing this is a weird comparison, but you're basically playing as if it's Cloud, in a sense that because think about it, right? Like, if you want to set up a good situation, for Young Link, a good situation is pretty ambiguous. But if you think about Cloud, what is Cloud's best situation in neutral? When he's landing a back air on your shield, because he gets a free
he's burying you in the shield.
Exactly. But when you like forward air someone on shield, or like landing near someone on shield, you also get a really strong mix up. So that's like a way to create a good situation without committing or without having to like corner someone or hit someone first. So these are just things to think about in terms of your neutral. And again, what I want to accentuate here is that I'm not giving you I'm not saying that you're doing this wrong. I'm saying that if you want to push to the next level, you got to get more out of situations like this. And yeah, that's a TLDR. I think given our time, we don't have a lot of room to watch you against Sonics. Is there anything else you would like to talk about? I know you wrote that you want to like focus on fixing old habits. We can talk a bit about fixing habits, or if there's like specific stuff you want to talk about, we can also jump into that.
So like basically, I just want to talk about like the passive neutral punish thing.
Okay.
Let's say Terry, like you said, runs up in shields. Like, I guess like something like maybe fair one, or fair 2 dash back would be like something really good to like kind of see what he's doing.
Yeah. So, what you want to do basically is in your punishes, you want to have a ladder, okay? And your ladder is as follows. Your ladder starts off with defensive coverage. So this is basically like trying to cover while playing around reversals or commitments. So for example, this would be like, oh, I'm stronger, I'm gonna wait for them to roll in, right? This is like the first layer. This is information gathering. The second layer is turning it into feints, right? So this is feints. So this is saying like, okay, they don't reversal or commit. Let's see if I can bait out an option, right? And then usually for most players, this is like all you need. Because most players, you faint in some sort of way, they react in some sort of way. That's just, you know, human instinct. Young Link is running towards you, scary as fuck. He's probably gonna down tilt you, get out of there, and then you punish whatever they do. However, if they're respectful enough to let you faint without hard committing, that's where the direct mix-ups come into play. So this is basically like your direct mix-ups, assuming they are entirely passive. And if you can follow this ladder, you're probably as good as can be. So like when you talk about like forward air on shield dash back, that would be like defensive coverage, because you're forward airing, which covers like a jump, it covers a shield, and then the dash back covers like a jump to center or a roll in or like a rising forward air out of shield. So that would be like a really good way to go about it. You can even, if you want to go even deeper in terms of like flow charting your game, you can say that your defensive coverage also has tiers. So you can say there's like fair 1-2 dash back. Okay, if I have confidence in that, I can do fair 1-2 rising nair, or maybe like jab 1-2. And if I have confidence in that, then I'll start doing fair 1-2 into another fair 1-2, right? Because they're giving me so much room, I can do it. So you can scale a lot of this. You can even scale your feints and say like, okay, the least committal feint is dash in, dash out, and the most committal feint is dash up and do nothing, right? In which case, like, they press a button, you literally get hit. So you can have like tiers of how much you commit to your feints, tiers to how much you commit to your coverage, and then you can decide for yourself when you want to like climb up the ladder. Because for most of the game, you're going to focus on defensive coverage and feints, because direct mix-ups, like, of course you can go for these when you're like strong enough that, you know, they have to do with your mix-up. So like, let's say they're, you know, like you're less trapping them, that's like you just directly mix them up, of course. But most of the neutral is nuanced in a way that you cannot force your mix-up on them, right? And that is when these options are a lot stronger. And that's where, like, if you want to be as consistent as possible, thinking a lot about how you can scale these based on your read, I think is very, very important. Okay.
Thank you. That's like, those layers are probably what I really needed to hear.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad that we stuck around for the final bit then. And it's good that you brought it up as a question, because that helps me understand what you need. Yeah, let's close out today's session. Toast, again, I want to thank you so much for your support. Again, congratulations with your performances. I hope you keep it up. You have a regional on the 15th. What is it called?
It's on the 16th actually. It's Just Roll With It 2022.
Just Roll With It 2022. Is Raven King going as well?
No, I don't think so. It's in North Carolina.
Oh, I see. Oh shit, this is big. Is this a regional?
Yeah.
327? That's crazy, dude.
At least C2, yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck. I'm going to be following your progress together with Semi for sure. We talk about your gameplay a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're both like him because he's always looking for like new stuff to add to his gameplay, and me because I just think like Young Link is probably like top 5 coolest character in the game.
That's great.
Yeah. So looking forward to it. I sent you the notes. I'll send you a VOD of our session later tonight. And yeah, thank you so much, man. If you have follow-up questions, feel free to let me know. All right?
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, cool. Hey, talk to you later, man.
See ya.
See ya. All right. Just Roll this too far from me. I get you, Raven King. Oh dang. Want to get started right away. Hang on, I'm talking to my student. Or reschedule. You want to play games. My student just messaged me. Something came up. Trying to figure out what's best to do here. He wants to play some games, but in 30 minutes, it's a little bit hard to do. He was here for an hour, but he has a job interview in 30 minutes. I'm going to a regional this weekend, though. Oh, good luck, Raven King. What's up, chat, by the way? Hope you guys enjoyed that session. That's an awkward... It happens, right? Like, things come up. He should take the job. Yeah, dude. Sorry, dude. I cannot get the job. I was getting coached in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Switch. But it happens. Like, things come up at times. I'm just trying to navigate this to make sure that everything is going well. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the follows, by the way. Carbony per Facer, Snake God Grape. Oh, Grape. Is that like Grape, the snake who beat Nico? Yeah, it is. It is. Welcome, welcome. And Marino the Banjo. Thank you. Thank you for the kind comments, by the way, as well. I do read them. We can reschedule. Hey, Ramses, do you think Marth can compete in the meta? I think he can. I think he can. I think Marth is a little bit underrated, but he does have, like, he does ask a lot out of the user. What's up, Key? I did enjoy the coaching session. It's hard to catch your streams sometimes for my time zone. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Element user. Yo, Hayer, what's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, dude, I heard, dude, I reviewed this set for the Shulk mains too, because like I'm pretty, like, Snake is like maybe my most practiced matchup. I really like this matchup. And I feel like there were a lot of very obvious mistakes that Nico could have fixed in the set. So it was very informative to watch. Was a great session. Thank you, Revio. Yeah, last time with Toast was great. Toast is an awesome dude. I really enjoy him. Just in the interview over coaching session, where's the grind set? For real, for real. All right, so I'm gonna be rescheduling my upcoming session, so we're gonna just be rating Silly because he's the only European who streams at this hour, and I will see you guys on Daddy Janky the Ensign. Would love to play if you attend a major, dude. I'm hella down, Grape. I'll play all the snakes. I want to play all the US snakes. But yeah, I'll be live again on Friday. I'll be analyzing my set versus Leo, and I'll be explaining how I beat MK Leo. So be sure to drop a follow and tune in on Friday. For now, stream is cut short. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't go. Go to. What am I supposed to do here? Let's see. Was a great session. I learned quite a bit. Quick question. What should you do against someone who always respects you in every situation? Play very defensive and try to bait him out. Should I main Rob or Sora if I want a soul? Sora is a cool character, but I'm the only person in the world who thinks that outside of the Sora mains. So, be ready for your entire friend group to be the Sora mains. Guys, see you on Friday. Hope you have a blessed day, morning, night, evening, wherever you are. And I'll catch you guys then. Bye-bye.